everyone, and welcome to Tal Talks. I am really excited because I have two really great guests, and they are 2/3 of a group called Bardy Pardy. Would you like to say hello and introduce yourselves?
Hi! Kind of the way we normally do. Hi, I'm Molly O'Flaherty.
And I'm Ella Grimsley.
And Lula Tattersby can't be with us today, but we are Bardy Pardy!
Oh man, I can't wait to see that live eventually.
No.
That'll be really cool.
It's always interesting on these video chats.
Yeah, there's like a delay and you're like waiting for the other person.
That comes out, we are. Yay!
Imagine the applause. So how exactly would you describe your group, your music, and what kind of music do you play / sing for run fairs?
Well,
Talk about who is going to answer questions. So
we are three peasants singing a variety of different kinds of folk music, some traditional folk music, some more modern inspired stuff, and also some story songs and comedic songs. And as I like to say, wrapped up in beautiful 3-part harmony.
And is it mostly singing, or do you have other instruments that you do?
We have our instrumentalist mostly. I think that between Tallulah and I, our percussion, shaker eggs here and there, and a tambourine and some drumming. But yes, I was going to say.
Yeah, I mostly play the instruments, guitar, occasionally mandolin. But for the most part, we're a singing group. I think that's definitely the cornerstone of what we do.
We can hit those 3-part harmonies. It's just, we get to that zone.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so many of those older folk songs are just vocals. They wouldn't have instruments in them because, people aren't able to afford the instruments, or they didn't exist.
Totally.
It's
good. So how exactly did your group get together? I know that you're all from different places, different things that you have going on. How did this merge into Bardy Pardy?
We were fortunate enough to meet at the New Jersey Renaissance Fair in 2017, or 15, 17, or however we're doing that. Anyhow,
we're in there.
We were all together on the cast at the New Jersey Fair, and somebody had said, okay, well, we're looking to make some musical groups up out of the cast this year who wants to perform on the street. And we all went to the back of the theater after a short bit of rehearsal that day and ended up getting tossed into little groups, really. And I think that the three of us were three of the last folks. Some people kind of immediately glommed on and was like, oh yes, and we kind of got tossed together, and it was magic.
It was magic. We were really just supposed to sort of make sort of ambiance for the fair, so it was nothing really set. And then the directors heard us rehearsing one day and were like, hey, do you guys want a stage show?
And we're like, yeah. Weekends. Yeah, the whole second 2 weekends we had a stage slot, so that was lovely.
And from there, we just realized we're like, it really was meant to be. They kind of randomly were assigned to work together. And just from day one, everything we did just came together perfectly and was amazing. And we're like, okay, even though the fair's over, we can't stop this. We have to keep doing it. And kind of just snowballed from there into what it is today.
When folks keep asking, so are you going to be back next year? Yeah. Oh, well, yes.
I guess
so. It's nice when things click like that, when they just sort of come together.
It was super magical.
Definitely.
But you're in other groups, right? What other Ren Fair stuff do you do?
Oh, I am. You're talking specifically to me because the Pirates of Fortune's Folly have also done work with the Massachusetts Ren Fair. Thank you very much. I am also known as First Mate Kat McKenna of the Pirates of Fortune's Folly. Here's a picture of me and the captain, which happens to be on my desk. So that's my other group. I'm mostly actor, combatant, and comedian for that group, but I am also known as ship's musician because I can't stop myself from singing all the time anyway. So those are my two main groups when I'm not doing specific characterized Ren Fair cast stuff. But my two independents are the Bardy Pardy and and the pirates.
I have to get back into it. I'm going to ask you more questions about the combat. Mental note. So how do you pick the songs that you sing? Where do they come from? Do you have a specific source? Do you have a lot of sources? Where are you getting your music from?
I think we all listen to a lot of music, and I think whenever we hear something that we think would sound good if we did it, we sort of pitch it to the group. And I feel like a lot of the time as soon as we get together for a rehearsal, it'll be like, oh my goodness, did you hear this song? Like, let's listen to it. And so we have this just running Spotify playlist of all the songs that we want to get to eventually, and we'll throw them on the playlist as we go. And we also have a lot of songs that our fans have suggested us to learn as well, that we're hoping to get to as well.
Yeah.
And I will tell the story of the very first song that kind of threw us together is that I had been obsessed with playing the Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and at the end, no spoilers, there's that beautiful version of that one girl singing Parting Glass. And even though I'd been doing the Ren Fair for several years at that point and had been attending several, I didn't know it, which is shocking.
What?
But
that's the most common end song.
outside the end of that game, I was like, I know it's a huge Ren Fair song. I just didn't know it. I was like, we could do this. And I was like, there's a version of this song from the game, and there's other versions. And Tallulah brought us the Waylon Jennings version of the Parting Glass, and we just kind of all sat listening to a phone and using earphones, and kind of we then split ourselves apart, kind of stared at each other, and spat out this 3-part harmony, beautiful Waylon Jennings version of the song. And we actually twisted the end so it doesn't end on a minor key, so we made it our own and resolve it better, I think. Than
I like our ending better.
You get the happier sort of sound at the end. The minor key,
at least a more hopeful sound, maybe. I don't know, or at least it sounds like it finishes. Is really
that's
the thing.
That day, that was truly, as Steph was saying, that it was very magical, and that really is the word. Because when we first got through that song for the first time, it seriously was one of the most magical musical moments of my life. And I was recording it on my phone just so we'd have something to practice with. And it's still on my phone. It's like 2 phones ago. I still have that recording, and I listen to it all the time, like when I need to pick me up, because it's just our ending, and then all of us being like, yeah,
it worked.
Yeah,
that's great.
As we will eventually also talk about this a little later on, but we are finally recording our first album after what would have been 3 years and is now suddenly 4. But
the missing
so
year.
we are getting down to recording, and I am super excited because not only will I be able to be like, hey, we have a CD. This is the coolest thing. I don't have one. Like I know that Ella has CDs, but I've never made a recording like this before, and the first thing I'm excited about is having it and getting all this beautiful music down. And the second reason is really selfish, because I can't wait to put it on my own playlist. Yes. And I can practice to our own voices.
To yourself.
I do
to do live shows. So.
With my band, I'll just listen to it in the car and sing along.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Kind of along the notes of talking about, you mentioned the Parting Glass. When you're putting a set together, do you try to balance like a lot of upbeat songs? Because the Parting Glass was sort of a slower, it can be sort of dirgy and maybe a little sad. Do you try to, when you put your songs together, say, okay, we can put this one at the end, or we can put it in the middle and have a bunch of like more upbeat for the audience? What kind of set list do you put together when you're thinking of songs?
It's a really, really good point.
I put a lot of thought into it, though. I really do think that as we come up with, even if we have a 3-show day, we'll try to make each one different, and then
try to make
like,
each one different and definitely flow, so it's not a bunch of sad songs. I think all of our personal taste leans more towards the sad and the dark.
It's just a musician thing. Me too. And then we're like, oh wait, we really got to have something more fun.
Yeah, and we'll make up a set list, be like, this will be cool, and then be like, oh gosh, we have all 3 of the Ghost songs next to each other, right? Let's put the love song in there.
And then the one about the zombie cat, we'll throw that one in there just because it's fun.
Yeah, so that one covers everything. It's very fun and makes you smile, but it's also about a zombie cat.
It's super dark somehow.
Great. I did listen to that. That's a good one. So what got you into run fairs in the first place? How did you both end up at the New Jersey Fair? And what do you enjoy so much about going to them?
Me, you, me, you, me.
You go first.
I actually grew up in a family of normies, like totally mundane non-performer types. Couldn't get them on stage if you dragged them on, and I became the person who couldn't stay away. And I went through all of my grade school and then went to college for theater and music. In fact, I didn't have a musical theater degree available at the school I went to, so I majored in theater and minored in music. And I was like, I'm going to go and be a musical theater star. Ha 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 ha. Yes, so it didn't quite work out that way. I worked at a bunch of theaters, went right out of college and did a couple things. Was in New York for a short while, but I was a dresser. I worked in wardrobe. And I kept looking at the people on stage going, I can do what you can do. And I was just looking for that like real opportunity, because all the theater I'd ever done was community theater. And one of my friends got into, I think, the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. And I was like, wow, this is a long commitment. And then the same friend was like, well, I'm doing this New Jersey Renaissance Fair. It's only 2 weekends. And the first year that I auditioned for it, it was 3 weekends. And I was like, all right, some outdoor theater. This would be really fun. And I had at least been to the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair for maybe 5, 6, 7 years before then, which, was an excuse to get dolled up and go out and be someone. But the cast thing was always a little bit beyond me because it was the length of the commitment. I went, I'm going to try this New Jersey one because I think I can get away and do it. And man, if I could do it as long as forever, I would. But I got sucked in because I was trying to do the legitimate theater thing and found this outdoor thing that is so easy to inhabit and so much of who I already was. Now that I've talked for 5 minutes about that, but like I was always the girl you couldn't turn her off, and that's obviously still what's happening. So when you get to fair, it's a valuable asset.
That's
For me,
great.
I remember when I was like 8 or 9, my dad and I just went for a hike, literally in the woods. It wasn't really the middle of nowhere, but it felt like the middle of nowhere. And we stumbled upon a Renaissance fair. It wasn't like the New Jersey Renaissance, like a big fair. I don't know what it was, but we were on a hike, so we didn't bring any money with us.
Magical.
So we couldn't actually pay to get into the fair. So I just remember being like 8 years old and seeing the gates and being like, I want to know what's on the other side. And then finally, I guess I just forgot Renaissance fairs existed. And then finally, when I was in college, the very first Renaissance fair I did go to was the New Jersey Fair. And I went there for a couple of years. And then I'm primarily a musician in my performance life. And one day I was like, maybe I should audition and try to act at the Renaissance Fair. And I actually auditioned for the New York Fair first. And I got in, but the commitment was very, very long. And at the time that I had gotten accepted, I actually was doing something with college. I was going to be away for like 3 weeks, doing a study, not really study abroad, but sort of. So I couldn't commit to it. And I was so devastated and so sad. And then like a year later, I'm like, oh, wait, I should audition for the New Jersey Fair, especially because I live in New Jersey. And so I did. And really the rest is history. I can't get enough of going as a patron or acting in them, because I think it's really just an immersive experience for everybody, no matter, what side of the stage you're on, really. They're exceptionally fun.
And what instruments do you play?
Mostly guitar and piano. I actually went to college for bass, but I don't really play that at the Ren Fair.
I do.
Really? Awesome.
Oh, we're getting the full band together.
Bass.
Yay!
Oh, I love it.
I'm so excited to meet fellow
sexy bassists.
Fellow lady bassists.
Yep, love it.
I have too many basses.
There's no such thing.
Well, I have 3 uprights. I used to have
wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My husband's like, oh, you're filling our house. I'm like, yeah, but it's with beautiful upright basses.
Exactly. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Well,
decor.
You can definitely play on one of my basses if we're ever at a fair together.
Yes.
That would be so much fun. I'll just bring 2.
We'll have a bass off.
Do you write any songs for your group?
Ooh.
We haven't written songs for Bardy Pardy yet.
Not yet.
Mostly we've focused on the cover zone and taking songs that exist and making them our own. It's definitely something we want to do.
Good.
I write music for myself, and I would love for us to co-write some beautiful Bardy Pardy music.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm done.
I have the chorus for a Lady Pirate song written.
Ooh.
Because I was laying in bed and I couldn't sleep, and I was thinking about we have a song that we've been performing because we did it at the New Jersey Ren Fair during the Grace O'Malley year. Yay! And
she's my favorite.
We got into a little snarl with like the person who wrote it on the YouTube, and it was totally, we didn't record it. They thought we were going to record it and didn't pay them or something, and so we'll get into that. But we'd like to maybe retire that song and leave it to the person who wanted to have control of it, and so I started writing this other thing, and I was like, maybe I could use it for Pirates, maybe I can use it for Bardy Pardy. So, soon, Ella, we'll talk. I'll play you the two pieces that I recorded in the middle of the night.
I'm very excited.
So far, you've
Lady
talked
Pirate
about
song coming
all
to
of
you.
my favorite things. Grace O'Malley, one of my absolute favorites, and playing bass. So yeah, I'm sold, and I can't wait I can't wait to see when you guys start writing music, but I can't wait to see the album that you're working on, but we'll get into that again also soon. So what would you say is the hardest part about performing at Renaissance fairs?
Not performing at a Renaissance fair for an entire year.
Yeah.
I'm sad right now, but it's coming soon.
It's coming soon. I'm happy that it's coming back.
Yeah.
We were kind of poised. We'd been together for 3 years, but we had kind of been poised for our best ever year.
It was going to be like our
people have
first
the same story.
Schedule.
Yeah. So we had Philly Fair.
My mic's picking up the snow plow outside.
We've got the same here. So, yeah. But we had Philly Fair, New Jersey Fair, a Pirate Festival, Sparta Festival, Sparta, New Jersey. So we had before we started having things close. I think we had 5 gigs where we had 2 tops previously. So this year we're waiting to see how things shake out and hoping to do a bit more real life stuff this year.
Yes.
I'm afraid of needles. I've never wanted to get stuck by a needle so badly in my whole life.
I know. I'm
ready.
Also, I'm so waiting. Yeah. But you guys will be at New Jersey this year?
Well,
I know.
We will be.
We will.
Bardy Pardy, not necessarily.
Okay.
I know they're trying to kind of limit the amount of performers and just basically all bodies coming through the gates.
That's what we're doing too. But
the 2 of us will be on cast. We have yet to find out who we're playing, but we do know that we are going to be in a musical group with other cast members, and we're super excited about that.
I keep thinking I'm giving away all the Bardy Pardy secrets because I'm like, we got to do these songs because we're going to do that for Bardy Pardy anyway. We might as well learn it now.
Well, exactly. You just got to jump on it, and so you might get some previews of Bardy Pardy songs at NJRF this year.
Okay, so aside from not being able to perform at Ren Fairs right now, but coming soon, what would you say is the hardest part about performing at Ren Fairs?
I was going to say contending with the weather.
Yes. Control the weather. What are you talking about?
I know.
You control the weather when you sing.
My character, Ella, seems to have a very strange way of making it cloudy and windy whenever I sing a certain song. But yeah. Between rain and extreme heat, it can be interesting.
Yes.
But also, I was going to say, sometimes it can be kind of fun to sort of take the bad situation and make it fun.
I played Wed Bed Behead.
Yep.
In a pouring rainstorm under the VIP tent with several of our favorite patrons and several of our other performer friends, and it was just downpouring to the point we could almost not hear one another, and we got into a massive we did the dating game and Wed Bed Behead.
And I was going to say, you and I sang Don Gatto on top of picnic tables while the wind was howling, but it made everybody happy.
But we didn't have Tallulah, and we forgot all the words.
We don't sing that one. That's her song, and we're like, we can do it.
Yeah, whether it creates a complication and also an adventure. So
it can make for even more unique, fun memories.
I think people don't always realize that some of the rainy days at the fair can be some of the best days because there's less
baking in the sun, which is always nice.
The sun is
sunny days are nice, but not baking in the sun is just
yeah. So it ends up being a little cooler, and there tends to be less people, and you get kind of a more intimate sort of song where you'll have, you might be singing to 5 people, but you really get to talk to them and get to know them during those sort of rainy days. So I think, I don't know if that's my advertisement for going to fairs when it's raining.
I feel like I almost, as a patron, I almost always go when it's raining.
Yeah, I would, definitely.
Because I'll be like, well, I was planning to go today anyway. I'll just go anyway. And it seriously can be some more fun even than going on a sunny day, because
the sunny days can be kind of brutal.
They can be brutal.
Yeah.
If I have a plan to go, if I have a plan and a ticket, I'm going on that day unless they say, I'm sorry, we are actually, it's so bad, we have to close.
We're closing.
Twice ever. Never at New Jersey. I think once we had a lightning storm right near the end of the day, and it was like, oh, just kind of try to get everyone out. We're going to not do the end of day, but we never actually were like, get out. So
no,
I've been as a patron twice where it had rained too badly, and then I think once was almost snow. So that was Pennsylvania.
Wow. We had to close once for tornado warnings, and then it missed us, and we were so mad because the town was like, "You guys really shouldn't run. There's a tornado coming. You can't do this." And we're like, "Okay." So we canceled that day, and then the tornado went around us.
Oh. I'm pretty certain that the lightning storm went around us as well, but we did get that massive downpour storm.
That was I think it was the final day of the fair, and it was actually a hilarious way to end.
Wanted to go anyway.
Our final joust that day, the jousters couldn't ride the horses, so they just were literally going out there like this with the lances, and it was so funny.
I forgot about that.
They were my favorite joust I've ever seen.
no armor because they were worried about the lightning, and no horses because they were worried about horses' hooves in the mud.
That is that's so Monty Python.
Oh, it was.
It was well worth it to every patron who stuck it out to the end. It was certainly worth it for the cast who was like, well, I guess that's it for our season. And suddenly it became this beautiful comedic routine, which was just glorious.
Yep.
So.
And then it was a bright sunny day.
I think you need to introduce the pet that has come in.
This is my baby Luna.
Your panther.
My little panther. She's so cute.
I love
she must be chilly. She wants to cuddle with me.
Marley's not allowed in here because this is the garb room. I have my entire room dedicated to, well, all you can see are my hats and accessories, wings and crowns.
Very nice.
But the closet over there is exclusively garb, and she cannot come in here because everything will be covered in fur.
Yep.
All right. So the weather is one of the hardest parts.
I mean, I would say also when you're doing an independent act at the same fair that you're actually on cast for, timing and getting from one place to another can get rough, but that doesn't happen to everybody.
No, that happened to me last year with NJRF, and I definitely missed lunch at least once.
Yes, I had someone deliver us both lunch to our stage where we were Bardy Pardying, and they put it in the back, and then we both zipped away.
We just didn't know.
And when we came back for the second set, like 4 hours later, our food was still there.
Did you eat it?
Oh, no.
I didn't. I do think I maybe sliced the empanada or something in half and had a couple bites, and I was like, yeah, no, this has really been outside in the sun for 4 hours.
Depends on what it is,
Yes, fruit. We didn't go for the fruit that was just sitting there, but yeah, that was...
It's unfortunate.
Timing is tough, though. That can be tough.
So that actually leads me to my next question, because that answered my next question, but I would love another story. Do you have any funny stories or strange occurrences?
We have plenty, because we had talked about a few of them, and then we turned some of our, this is a hard thing, but it was funny, and this was a weird thing, but it was also funny. So, all right, you got this one.
All right, I'll probably need a little help with it.
I'm here for you, Ella.
In 2019, the two of us were on the cast of the New Jersey Renaissance Fair, and we were kind of being the opposite of Ella and Molly, who are very peasanty. We were both ladies in waiting to the queen, so it's basically the opposite. And then our third, Tallulah, was still Tallulah, the
our
peasant.
Peasant. Wonderful.
And I don't think this was planned, or if it was, I didn't know about it. But the queen and several other members of the court showed up to one of our Bardy Pardy performances.
Oh,
always wonderful. Anyway, if the queen graces you with her presence when you're performing, that's wonderful. But we also happen to be her friends on stage.
Right.
Which
So like, yeah, so we were kind of cool because we're like, oh, we we're friends with her. But Tallulah was like, oh, it's the queen. And beyond her just watching the show, at the end of our performance, she got up and officially blessed us and made Bardy Pardy the official court minstrels.
Oh, that's great. That's really great.
She was up in the Shire.
It was absolutely amazing. Tallulah like fainted.
She had a heart attack on stage. I think she rolled around a few times, just across the stage. Oh my lady! Oh my lady! I don't know what to do. She didn't know what to do.
There are several photos. They're all on our Facebook page.
Video even,
you have to see them because there
might be video on the YouTubes. There might be a video. But
so yeah, we actually have a pin now that has the queen and us on there, proving how official we are.
Oh yeah, that's something that you would have to brag about.
Yeah, that's special edition too, because I'm the pin maker. I have now our Kickstarter pin for our Kickstarter backers who helped us make the CD we're going to finally make for them. So those are made and safe for when we mail stuff out. And then I'm going to have our official Bardy Pardy logo, and then our official photo, and all the ones I made, which has us in our different incarnations, are all limited edition. I'm not making any more. So got those, your original Bardy Pardy fans.
So we talked a little bit about your characters just now even, but do you think you could describe a little bit about your characters and actually where you get your costuming from?
We gave a bit of Tallulah. She's kind of the lowliest of the lowly, and we love her. She's hilarious. Our friend Hannah is Tallulah Tattersby, and by God, she's just the most immersive actress.
You need to experience Tallulah.
She's still wearing the same thing she wore that was handed to her on her first day of cast at the New Jersey Renaissance Fair.
Wow.
And so she wore that for her 2 years on cast, and then we purchased it for her with our tips. So by the third year, we decided we want you to have your costuming, and I think she's going to upgrade at some point soon.
Yes.
But so that's been Tallulah, has been the same wonderful character in the same outfit since the beginning. Go ahead. You had a couple of different changes. So
I've had yes. Well, I mean, since all 3 years really. That Bardy Pardy has been a thing at NJRF, I've been a different character because I was on cast. The one that I've decided to stick with in all of the other places that we are performing is Ella Grimsley, who is a character of my own creation and was my 2018 character at the New Jersey Fair. And I feel like I always sort of play the musician type because I am a musician. And my idea with Ella was to sort of take the idea of bard and go a little bit more in the storyteller route with that. So she is a storyteller. She's a little strange. She grew up in the woods surrounded by the fairies, and she might believe in magic a little bit more than some other people.
Mm-hmm.
My first iteration was definitely a bit more swampy than what I am today. But yeah, I think I've just with the sort of outfit that I have on now and what I usually wear. I usually have a flower crown, but I had to wear my headphones. I want to sort of pull from my life in the forest, but in a prettier, less swampy way than I have from the past. In terms of where I got my stuff, this is just a shirt. I don't know where I got it. My bodice is from the New York Renaissance Fair, and my skirt is actually from Ireland. My fiance's mom picked it up on a trip to Ireland.
It's beautiful. We don't stand up on interviews like this because of reasons. But if you did, that skirt would be beautiful.
Yes, I've got a cat on my lap. So.
Yeah, that doesn't help either. So I'm Molly O'Flaherty, and as well as Ella, I have gone through different iterations through my time on Fair, and I was Molly Buckets, washer wench.
That's great.
And then I was Siobhan O'Flaherty, helmswoman for Grace O'Malley.
Nice.
And then moving on from there, I was the lady in waiting. But I took those two characters, particularly because I love pirates so much, and I want to have a peasant character like Molly Buckets, but also have a connection to all the pirate songs that I love to sing best. I get to do Dark Lady. I was singing the Grace O'Malley song. I was doing a couple of other ones, and we got some pirate events hopefully as well coming up that we'll do, just, you know. And so I smushed them together, and now I'm Molly O'Flaherty, and I am a tavern cape. So I will sing and dance on the tables in the tavern, and that's who Molly is. And her cousin is Siobhan. So she actually sails with Grace O'Malley, and she'll come back and tell me all her stories, and I'll turn them into songs. So that's my inspiration for Molly. Is she's kind of a little bit of Molly Buckets, because I'm my peasant self, and a little bit of her cousin Siobhan.
And you have a ton of costuming, it looks like.
I do! This is funny, too, because I love Maresca stuff. It's very whimsical, but the Cleo set, which I'm wearing my bodice now, I have two of them. I have one in red, one in green. So I have my day 1 and my day 2 outfits that I have accessorized to match. My shirt, legit, I have 2 of the same shirt because I found them on the sale rack at TJ Maxx with this beautiful, I love this neckline. I love the ruffle. Just got lucky on that one. But this Cleo bodice came from my very best friend, Amy, who she lucked out. She grew up and grew out. So I still fit the bodice, and now I have this one, which inspired my purchase of the other one, and I just kind of accessorized to match. I have a green hat for my green outfit, and we have the Cleo skirts to match. So but I'm a costume collector because I worked in wardrobe for so long. I was actually the wardrobe supervisor at the Prince Music Theater in Philadelphia for 2 years. And I made a lot of things while I was there, because between shows, I would still have to go to work. Yeah. So I would use the sewing machines and the sergers, and I'd just make stuff, because they taught me how in college, and then they couldn't stop me because I was also born on Halloween, and I love costumes since I was born. So it's just the fact I've collected everything. Half the stuff in my closet is Halloween level crap that is just useful, and half of it is, you know, beautiful garb, and some of which I've saved up for a very long time. My pirate coat I bought from Brielle Costumes. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. She makes beautiful things. Look her up online, because she makes beautiful stuff. But I ain't cheap. It's really nicely made. So couldn't find a pirate coat I liked. Went to Brielle. She did that. I'm making a waistcoat right now. Nice. So I'm still trying to make things, but it's not coming out so great. So anyway, costumes are my thing.
I wanted to throw in there about costumes, just because we were talking about our early days of the Renaissance Fair before. I remember like the first couple of times I went to the Renaissance Fair and seeing all of these people just on the cast, but also patrons who just had these beautiful like works of art that they were wearing. And I remember like I was there in like just a black skirt and like a peasant top that I own, and I'm like, one day I'll get there. And now when I think about just all the garb and the accessories that I own, and I'm like, 18-year-old Chelsea would be so happy.
my first Ren Fair, my grandmother took me to the Sarasota, Florida Ren Fair, which now is like a reasonably big deal, I guess. Yeah, like that particular fair has grown into something more than it was then. But I remember she took us there because she didn't know what to do with us for a day, my brother and I. And we went walking around. I was like, this is amazing. And I was so upset. I remember being upset because there were so many people in beautiful costumes. And I was like, why? She bought me my first flower crown with little ribbons on it. And I was like, okay, I'm mollified. But next time I come here, I'm going to be beautiful princess. So that might have been the mystique for fair for me, was there's a place somewhere where people dress like princesses and knights all day.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely a process where you're just sort of gathering things slowly, finding things here and there.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're at the fair, you're there the last day and someone's like, hey, I'm trying to get rid of these. And you see it and you're just like,
Okay.
I will tell you how many swords I brought home from that pirate ship that they used to have as an actual sword shop at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. I had friends there. So they'd be like, oh, well, we're trying to get rid of this. Do you want this weird? I thought I had. Oh, I do have it nearby. Do you want this weird candle holder that we don't want for any? Yes, of course, because the pirate gave it to me. I'll take it. I got an Atem from the same guys. They were just like, well, we're emptying the chest. Here you go. You want this? Yes. Okay. Last day of fair for the win.
Now, you were talking about combat earlier. I'm just wondering, how did you get into combat? What kind of combat do you do? You said you have a bunch of swords. Do you think you could tell us a little bit?
Okay, I fell into this because I love pirates. I never like wanted to be a stage combatant. It wasn't something that entered my mind in college, even because the only combat class I was available to take when I was doing my acting degree was unarmed. So I actually had a little bit of unarmed combat knowledge. But when I went up to help a friend in Vermont, the Lake Champlain Maritime Museum, they did a kids pirate festival. And he was like, I need some people up here. And I was like, I got some swords and I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I have a cosplay character called Jane Swallow. And he said, can you bring Jane Swallow up to play with the kids? I said, okay. So I took my like real sharp wall hanger swords and stuff up there and just kind of la 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 la. And, you know, I loved doing that event. That was long before I'd worked at any Renfrew. I'd been to them, but I was up there. It's 2013, I think. And I was up there and I came back to work and I was depressed for 2 weeks. I was like, I just want to go away and be a pirate forever. This is what I do. So I started looking around online and I ended up meeting the folks who eventually evolved and became the Pirates of Fortune's Folly, who I'm now first mate for. And they did that stuff. They did the sword fighting stage kids shows. And I was like, that's really neat. I'll work up to that someday. On the flip side, I'm also getting into doing the Renaissance Fair stuff. And all of the principal cast does the chess match. I was like, boy, does that look like fun. And I'm like, it looks like dancing. Looks like dancing with swords. And I'm real good at choreography. So thankfully, the New Jersey staff is really cool about when they put you on it's the middle cast, I guess. It's like between the supporting unpaid and the main paid cast. They will ask you to attend the acting classes and the stage combat classes. So I know that I was going to say your real name. I always do that. I never know what to do when we're not talking in thing. But Ella has done them with me and everything. And so they teach you a little bit.
Yeah.
Everything from there, I learned from doing actual choreography with the pirates and doing actual choreography for last year's chess match, which was my first chess match. I actually did a fight show my first year on New Jersey Cast because I went, oh, you're a pirate fairy, which I was. You're a pirate fairy. Do you want to be in the fight show? Yes, I do. Will you teach me how to use my brand new BKS cutlass that I saved up to buy? Yes, I really do. And I mean, everyone I've worked with has taught me from the ground up and safely, because I know a lot of very responsible, clever teachers in choreography. And I've taken classes since outside of that because I didn't realize how fun it really was to do the combat stuff. It was never part of it until I was like, now I'm a pirate. I got to fight with a sword. Now I'm on the cast and I want to fight with a long sword and I want to fight, I just want to do all the different things now.
My pirate character has a blunderbuss, so I don't have to deal with the sword.
My captain has one. Its name is Baby.
And then I have an octopus. That's my other thing. That way I don't have to fight anyone hand to hand. I'll throw the octopus at them.
Yeah, we have all levels on the pirate cast too. We have just people who are like, yeah, I never want to touch a weapon. And sometimes we get them to do like a drunken master type fight where they literally don't even have to pretend to just, woo, I'm part of the brawl. And then there are those of us who are like, can you write me a fight so that we can just do a little 10-step fight sequence? And it's worked out pretty well so far. So.
I would love to see that. It sounds like an amazing show.
We have several, which is nice because we do write fights into most of the pirate shows too, so that there's a little something going on, because it's hard to be like, hey, we have a big stage stunt fight show and then be like, actually no, we don't do any fighting, and we have one show which is actually a cooking show, which is very silly, and it comes down to looking a little bit more like a cartoon. We hit each other with like a bong and like some fish that we made. Anyway, that's getting way off track, but
I knew that was gonna happen.
Ask a fighter about fighting.
It's true.
It will last a while.
Yay.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
She's climbing. She's climbing.
So we're going to be having your show playing on this weekend. So
it's for Valentine's Day. Aww. Fantasy and Valentine's Day. So we're going to sing our darkest songs for you.
Yep.
Perfect. Is there anything that people should know before seeing your show? Like going into it, anything that they should be thinking about?
say for the songs that we sent you for this weekend, for Fantasy February, we did go into our like most fantastical fantasy stuff.
Yes.
So we sent you our I think we have Mordred's Lullaby by Heather Dale.
By the way, heatherdale.com. By the way, that's the song that when I sing it, the weather gets all crazy. So maybe watch the skies when that one comes on.
It's spooky. It is spooky. And then we also, in 2019, because it was the end of Game of Thrones, we pulled out Jenny of Oldstones, which we figured, okay, fantasy, both so dark. So we also wanted to send over something that is as fantastical and fun. So as I don't remember if it's in the video part, but we used to introduce it as being by our friend Sir James Henson. And we performed Let Me Be Your Song from Fraggle Rock, which is a beautiful, fraggly, mystical sounding song where we recruited one of our castmates to play the flute intro on his recorder. So we kind of gave you most of our magical stuff. So that's as an intro to this weekend. That's what you get from this one. But for a Bardy Party show, you're going to get a little more comedy, a little more folk music, and a little more, the 3-part harmony we talked about earlier. So we're all kinds of different things, and we don't exclusively sing sad ballads.
No,
not exclusively. A lot of those, but not exclusive.
Not all.
We gave you some Dark Lady and some Wild Mountain Time the last time we were featured at Marf. So
those are great songs.
Yeah.
All right, so it has come to our lovely Marf tongue twister challenge part. I make a different tongue twister every time. So you've never seen this before. I'm going to put it in the chat, and I'll give you a second to look at it. And then if you could say it as quickly as you can.
One at a time. I've been talking a lot, so now you have to go first.
I go first? Okay, let's see.
Throw her under the bus.
Felix found fellow fairies flitting fearlessly from far off forest for fabulous fortunes.
That was
I should have gone first.
That was so good. All right.
Okay. Felix found fellow fairies flitting fearlessly from far off forest for fabulous fortunes. All right. High five.
That was really good. That was so good. So, I have different people that do these when I have singers and people who, I'm going to say singers because the two of you are very good at speaking to people and you're good at enunciating. When I have that type on my show, then it seems like you're much better at the tongue twisters because that is what you do.
Yep, I do tongue twisters a lot. My real job is I teach music lessons, so I do a lot of tongue twisters with my voice students. I might have a little more practice.
It definitely shows.
Hi, I'm a juggler. I'm going to try your tongue twister, but I'm better at twisting up my hands than I am at twisting up my tongue. I can see that happening. I can see that being a thing.
The Knights were not fans.
I can see. Poor Knights. They're so good at what they do. They don't need to be. Well, never mind.
Yeah, they're good at hitting things. Maybe not so much the tongue twisters. So you have successfully gotten through my tongue twister challenge, and now is the time for you to tell us all about what you have going on, what new things that are going to be out, and where people can find you.
Cool. Well, we finally are going to be recording the vocals for our very first album, our very first CD. Almost exactly a year ago, I finished recording the instrumentation for our CD, and then the very first day we were supposed to track vocals, New Jersey shut down. So that was it. So we're very excited. The two of us will both be there in, I guess, about 2.5 weeks to record.
Yep, 20th, I think, is our first day in.
Yeah,
this year.
So we're going to be recording some of our vocals finally for our CD, and hopefully that will be done by the time like the actual fair season starts, so we can share with you. We'll see. If COVID is still a thing, unfortunately, so we're still playing it by ear, but we're very hopeful and very excited to be getting in the studio. And for me, because I'm the only one who's been to the studio so far, I'm super excited to have Hannah and Steph join me and have them experience it. And I can't wait to hear the songs come together. So hopefully,
we finished our Kickstarter on December 31st. 2019. We set it up to end precisely. We made it, and we were so thrilled. We had a couple of rehearsals, and then Ella went into the studio and did her thing, recorded all the instrumentals, like all of them, and we never got a chance to go. And so we've been literally, when do we go? When is this over? We were ready to go. We were ready, just right there.
Yep. So we're thrilled to be getting that on the road again.
Now, are
so we
people
definitely
going
have
to be
that going
able
on.
to get your CD online?
Yes, we're going to have physical CDs, and we're also going to be selling it basically anywhere you can find music. So iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff when it's up.
Hopefully you'll be able to find us later this year, because as we were saying, we are waiting to find out what happens with the COVIDs, but there are a couple existing contracts that we had from our banner 2020 year that we're hoping maybe turn into being able to finalize some dates later on this season.
Tentatively, we will be performing places.
And meanwhile, I mean, we've been trying to do what we can online, which is why we have some beautiful videos actually that we did. I think we did 3 or 4 over the course of last year, which is hard because when you're a musician, we can't get together like this and sing. We can't rehearse. We can't do anything virtually because everything's just off by this much.
Yep.
However, we, with the magic of what Chelsea can do with her editing software, we have made a couple of different music videos, some of which were featured here in Marf in November.
They're great.
And thank you. And so we've been working hard on doing what we can while we're all still apart. We've done a couple of appearances on Shakespeare Proves Coffee Break, and we intend to go on to Contessa. Oh no, I've almost called her Contessa Luisa Francesca Bobesca III. But yeah, we're gonna go to Contessa Catalina's wine mixer at some point when we have the CD so we can talk about it. And so there's gonna be things here and there online, so you should definitely find us at bardypardy.com.
Bardy Pardy spelled with D's, like dog, not T's, because we're
Bardy
peasants,
Pardy.
we can't read.
Find us on the Book of Face and the YouTube and the Instagram, and not quite yet on the TikTok, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Well, great. I hope that everyone is able to find you and that your CD will come out soon so we can all listen to it. And in the meantime, they'll get to see you this weekend.
Thank you so much. We are so thrilled, so happy to be virtually part of the Massachusetts Red Fair. Has been really, really special. So thank you so much for having us back.
Thanks everybody for watching. Bye.